Thank you for your interest in the San Jacinto Regional Watershed Master Drainage Plan, or the San Jac Study. This presentation is intended to give you information about this comprehensive regional study led by 4 local partners, including the Harris County Flood Control District, the San Jacinto River Authority, Montgomery County, and the City of Houston. Kick-started in April 2019, this integrated effort will identify future flood mitigation projects that can be implemented in the near and long term to reduce flood risks associated with major channels to people and property throughout the San Jacinto River Regional Watershed. The Harris County Flood Control District talks a lot about watersheds, but what exactly is a watershed? Watersheds are geographical regions of land or drainage areas that drain rainfall runoff to a common body of water, mostly creeks. This drainage may flow directly into a bayou or creek or through a series of systems that may include storm sewers, roadside ditches, and/or tributary channels. Watershed boundaries are formed by nature and are largely determined by the topography or lay of the land. Watersheds come in all shapes and sizes. Some are large, some are small, and each has its own independent flooding issues. The Upper San Jacinto River Watershed has 12 major subwatersheds that drain into the San Jacinto River Basin in Harris County, which eventually drains into Galveston Bay. The San Jac study is budgeted at $2.7 million, with 75% of the study funded through the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. This FEMA program aims to enact mitigation measures that reduce the risk of loss of life and property from future disasters. 25% of the study is funded by 4 local partners. Study results will be used to inform and update hazard mitigation plans for the participating partners and provide guidance on regulations for future growth within the study area. The goals and objectives of the San Jac study are to identify the region's vulnerabilities to flood hazards using Atlas 14, the most current rainfall data developed by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Develop approaches to enhance public information and flood level assessment capabilities during a flood disaster event. Evaluate regional flood mitigation strategies along major streams to improve community resilience. And provide a comprehensive flood mitigation plan that supports the needs and objectives of each regional partner. These goals will be achieved by developing a set of hydrologic and hydraulic models for the major tributaries of the San Jacinto River Regional Watershed, extending from the headwaters in Walker County to the Interstate 10 crossing at the San Jacinto River in Harris County. This study area includes nearly 3,000 square miles across 7 different counties and approximately 535 linear miles of major stream. Let's take a moment to discuss hydrologic and hydraulic analysis and modeling. Using hydrologic and hydraulic data from the U.S. Geological Survey, FEMA, and organizations like the Harris County Flood Control District, engineers are able to utilize an integrated system of software to simulate real-world conditions in our region's bayous, streams, and channels. These simulations are completed using hydrologic and hydraulic, or H&H models. These models predict how precipitation will impact the landscape, with estimates of how deep the water will get at different locations and how frequently this water depth will occur under certain weather conditions. Other models are used to estimate the monetary damages that can be expected when these events occur in developed areas and damaged property. The San Jac study models will use consistent, cohesive methodology and rainfall rates, regardless of the county in which those bayous, streams, and channels are located. From time to time, bayous, streams, and channels naturally come out of their banks due to heavy rainfall and inundate the adjacent land. This area is referred to as a floodplain. A floodplain is defined as any land area susceptible to being inundated by stormwater from riverine systems. Each bayou, stream, and channel has its own floodplain where the water collects, pools, and flows during the course of a storm event. It is a common misconception that recent development is the cause of all the region's flooding issues. That is not necessarily true. Unfortunately, nature can and will provide more rainfall than our bayous, streams, and channels can handle. Every flood is different. Therefore, floodplains are typically expressed by stating their annual exceedance probability, or the chance that a particular storm will occur in any given year. The term 100-year flood can be misleading. The 1% floodplain, or the 100-year floodplain, represents an area of inundation that has a 1% chance of being equaled in any given year. It does not mean that if a 1% flood event does occur, another 1% flood event will not happen for 99 years. Statistically, a 1% flood has a 26% chance of occurring during a 30-year period of time, the length of many mortgages. Floodplain maps produced by FEMA are a key tool used by the Harris County Flood Control District and FEMA to communicate flooding risks to citizens. Because we all know and recognize that extreme weather events and floodwaters do not recognize jurisdictional boundaries, like county and city limits, the 4 study partners are working together to address flooding as a regional issue. Each study partner has its own unique set of roles and responsibilities within the San Jacinto River Regional Watershed. The Harris County Flood Control District is a special purpose district created by the Texas legislature in 1937 to oversee the rivers, streams, and tributaries in Harris County for domestic, municipal flood control, irrigation, and other useful purposes. Through the years, the Harris County Flood Control District's role and responsibilities have become much more complex, but the mission remains simple: provide flood damage reduction projects that work, with appropriate regard for community and natural values. Flood damage reduction is accomplished by devising flood damage reduction plans, implementing these plans, and maintaining flood damage reduction infrastructure. The San Jacinto River Authority is a public entity created by the Texas legislature whose mission is to develop, conserve, and protect the water resources of the San Jacinto River Basin. Covering all or part of 7 counties, the organization's jurisdiction includes the entire San Jacinto River watershed, excluding Harris County. The San Jacinto River Authority is one of 24 river authorities in the state of Texas. And like other river authorities, its primary purpose is to implement long-term regional projects related to water supply and wastewater treatment. Montgomery County was established in 1837 and is located immediately north of Harris County and the city of Houston. Montgomery County performs essential administrative functions such as registering voters, supervising elections, keeping records, providing police protection, administering health and welfare services, infrastructure maintenance in unincorporated areas of the county, floodplain management, and drainage regulations. The City of Houston provides many of the basic services that affect the daily lives of everyone who lives and works in Houston. Primarily, the city is responsible for all the things we take for granted on a daily basis: the administration, planning, maintenance, construction management, and technical engineering of the city's infrastructure, which includes functions such as floodplain management, stormwater management, code enforcement, permitting, and water supply. Overall, the San Jac study aims to provide a consistent and up-to-date set of technical data and resources to identify existing flooding vulnerabilities and the impact from future growth within the entire San Jacinto River watershed. The study is anticipated to be completed in fall 2020, and the Harris County Flood Control District is hosting a series of community engagement meetings in Harris County to encourage public participation and feedback in the San Jac study. The study team would like to stress that we are very early in the planning process. Once potential regional flood mitigation projects have been identified by this study effort, a second series of community engagement meetings will be held to provide the public the opportunity to review the study findings and provide additional input, likely in spring 2020. It is important to recognize that the current FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program funding and local partner matches do not include implementation costs. Funding for proposed projects will be part of the implementation of this master drainage plan, which will require the partnership and funding participation from all local, state, and federal partners. Today, we need your help. By letting us know what you think about the study team will be better equipped to identify potential flood damage reduction projects to meet your needs. we are working closely with each of our local partners and area floodplain administrators to learn from the devastating flooding experienced in the upper San Jacinto River Regional Watershed study area and provide a more resilient region for many generations to come. We thank you for your participation and look forward to hearing your input about the San Jac study. On behalf of the San Jac study team and the Harris County Flood Control District, we thank you for your time and attention this evening.